The air was thick with tension as the news spread across the internet like wildfire. After months of silence, confusion, and speculation, the mystery surrounding Yu Menglong had finally reached its breaking point. Fans who had followed the story from the very beginning could barely believe their eyes as the headline appeared on their screens. Suspect revealed at last. The words sent a chill down everyone's spine. What began as a quiet investigation had turned into one of the most followed cases of the year. Cameras flashed, reporters crowded the courthouse, and social media exploded with questions. But behind all the noise, there was a truth waiting to be uncovered, one that no one could have predicted. It started with a single message leaked online late at night. The post came from an anonymous source claiming to have inside knowledge of the case. It said, "The truth was never hidden, it was just ignored." Within minutes, that message became the most searched topic on every major platform. People began connecting pieces they had missed before, digging into old interviews, analyzing Menglong's last known appearances, and tracing connections that led straight to one shocking name. When the police finally confirmed it, the entire world stopped. The suspect was not a stranger, not an outsider looking for attention. It was someone who had been close to Menglong all along. Someone fans had seen countless times, smiling beside him during public events, acting as if nothing was wrong. That revelation shattered the illusion everyone had been holding on to. The investigation reports showed strange patterns leading up to the event. Messages deleted minutes after being sent. Unexpected travel records. Hidden voice notes that were never meant to be found. Piece by piece, the truth was laid bare until one scene stood out above all others. A night just days before everything changed. Yu Menglong had met with this person in private. Security footage revealed them standing near the old river bridge under dim streetlights. The conversation seemed intense, with Menglong's expression shifting from calm to disappointed, and then to silent shock. He walked away slowly, leaving the other person frozen in the dark. It was the last confirmed moment they were seen together before everything spiraled out of control. What made this revelation even more disturbing was the motive. The suspect's reasons were not fueled by greed or hate, but by a twisted sense of protection. In interviews that followed, investigators revealed that the person believed they were saving Menglong from something even bigger, something hidden deep within the industry he was part of. Insiders began to talk. Former staff members, stylists, and assistants came forward with details about secret arguments, hidden deals, and warnings Menglong had ignored. One former producer even said, "He knew too much, but he trusted too easily." Those words echoed in every fan's mind, painting a picture of a man who had tried to do the right thing but was surrounded by people with dark intentions. As the case unfolded, fans flooded social media with messages of support, heartbreak, and confusion. Hashtags with Menglong's name trended for days as everyone tried to make sense of what had really happened. But deep down, people began to realize that the truth might be more painful than they expected. In the courtroom, as the suspect was escorted in, silence filled the air. Reporters held their cameras tight, fans held their breath, and the suspect looked down, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. When the evidence was presented, the room erupted in shock. It wasn't just about what they did, it was about what they tried to hide. Letters written by Menglong were found, some never sent, others torn and half-burned. In them, he spoke of his fears, his exhaustion, and his growing distrust of those closest to him. He wrote about wanting to leave it all behind, but something kept pulling him back. Reading those words out loud in court left everyone in tears. But the biggest twist came at the end. Just when everyone thought the truth had been fully uncovered, a new piece of footage emerged. It showed Menglong hours before his final appearance, standing alone by the river. He turned to the camera, smiled faintly, and whispered something that shook everyone to their core. It was never about fame. It was about truth. That clip was never meant for the public, yet somehow it found its way online, reigniting every emotion fans had buried deep inside. It became a symbol of his courage and a reminder that even in silence, truth always finds its way out. The suspect's confession came days later, ending the long and painful mystery. But even with the truth finally revealed, questions still lingered. Who leaked the message? Why did the footage suddenly appear after being hidden for months? And most importantly, what was the bigger secret Menglong had been trying to protect? As reporters tried to uncover more, fans came together, creating online pages dedicated to honoring his legacy. Tributes filled every platform, music videos replayed, and fans wrote letters saying how much he had inspired them to keep going no matter how dark things got. And maybe that's what Menglong wanted all along. Not sympathy. Not attention. But for people to keep seeking truth, even when it hurts. The story of Yu Menglong isn't just about mystery or loss. It's about courage, loyalty, and the cost of honesty in a world built on silence. His final message still echoes across millions of screens, reminding everyone that even when the world forgets, truth never does. The courtroom was silent. Every breath sounded like thunder. The cameras had stopped rolling hours ago, but the tension inside that room could still cut through the air. Yu Menglong sat quietly, his hands folded together, his eyes locked on the person standing at the witness stand. The suspect, the one everyone had been waiting to hear from, finally spoke. The confession began softly, almost trembling, like the person was struggling to breathe. They said they never meant for things to go that far, they never thought the truth would hide for so long, and they never imagined that Yu Menglong would take the fall for something he never did. A gasp rippled through the room. Even the judge froze. Yu Menglong looked down, his shoulders heavy, and the memories began to rush back like waves colliding on a stormy night. He remembered the night it all began. The argument. The misunderstanding. The silence that followed. And the single decision that changed his life forever. The suspect's words grew sharper, more emotional. They spoke about jealousy, fame, and betrayal. They said they wanted attention, but not destruction. They only wanted to be seen, to be heard. But everything spun out of control. Yu Menglong raised his head slowly, his expression unreadable. For a moment, their eyes met across the courtroom. It wasn't anger anymore. It wasn't hatred. It was something deeper, something that broke everyone watching apart. Forgiveness. Then the real twist began. The prosecutor stood, holding a sealed envelope that had arrived just minutes before the final verdict. Inside were photos, unseen clips, and private messages that revealed there was more to the story than anyone realized. Someone else had been controlling everything from behind the scenes. Gasps filled the room again. Reporters scrambled to record. The judge called for silence, but the chaos had already erupted. The suspect fell to their knees, crying, realizing they had been manipulated the entire time. Yu Menglong's lawyer whispered something to him, but he barely heard it. He was lost in thought, lost in the sound of the truth finally setting him free. Outside the courtroom, the sky had turned gray. Fans gathered with cameras, tears, and signs that read, "We believe you, Yu Menglong." His name was trending across every platform. The world that once doubted him was now on his side. But just as he stepped out to make his first public statement, another revelation shook everyone to the core. A private recording, hidden inside a phone that belonged to the suspect, was leaked online. It contained the voice of someone close to Yu Menglong, someone the audience had never suspected. That voice confessed to orchestrating the entire setup. Every rumor, every accusation, every leaked clip, it was all planned. The room went silent once again as Yu Menglong listened to the voice echo from the speakers. It was someone he trusted. Someone he called family. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered under his breath, "So it was you all along." The crowd outside started chanting his name. The suspect, still crying, turned to him and said, "I'm sorry. I never wanted this. I thought I was protecting you." Yu Menglong closed his eyes, letting out a breath he'd been holding for years. He didn't say a word. He simply walked away from the cameras, away from the noise, and into the quiet world he had been searching for. Later that night, he posted a single message on his social account. It read, "The truth always wins." Not immediately, but eventually. Within minutes, millions of fans reshared it. the world had forgiven him. The suspect was taken into custody. And the hidden mastermind who orchestrated the entire scandal was finally under investigation. The case that had once destroyed his career now became the reason he rose higher than ever. His comeback project was announced days later. Directors wanted him again. The industry wanted him again. And the people who turned their backs now couldn't stop talking about him. But Yu Menglong remained silent. He didn't attend interviews. He didn't post often. When asked about forgiveness, he simply smiled and said, "Some stories don't need closure. They just need peace." And that was it. The case that held the world in suspense had finally ended, not with revenge, not with anger, but with quiet redemption. As the final scene faded to black, a message appeared on the screen. Truth has power. It may take time, but it never disappears. Then the voiceover softly whispered, "Before you go, don't forget to subscribe. Because the next story might just change everything you think you know." The music swelled, the comments flooded in, and the name Yu Menglong echoed across the internet once again, not as a suspect, not as a victim, but as a symbol of resilience, truth, and quiet victory. And somewhere far from the cameras, in a place no one knew, Yu Menglong finally smiled, free at last.